page 3, measuring segments. We want to find the length of each segment, or of the segment between points A and B. Can we describe this length as a negative? Is the length of something negative? No, it's going to be a positive. So this is why I introduced today going over absolute values. So we want to find the absolute value of A minus B. I'm talking about this segment here. A is 3 and B is 5.5. 3 minus 5.5 is the absolute value of negative 2.5. The absolute value of negative 2.5 is 2.5. Now, what units are we talking about? We're talking about millimeters on this one. So finish with millimeters. So a distance, a measurement, cannot be a negative. In this instance, if segments have the same length, they are called congruent segments. So if AB is congruent to AD, this is how we would represent it. They are congruent. We're talking about the segments. The segment AB is congruent to segment AD. But their lengths are equal. You would not say their lengths are congruent. So you use congruent when you're talking about segments. You use equal when you're talking about lengths. Just like we say here. So AB is equal to AD. Line or segment AB is congruent to segment AD. So let's go over the first example here. Find which two segments, or find these segments, XY, ZY, and ZW, are congruent. Okay, what is the length of XY? Well, let's find out. XY is equal to the absolute value of X minus Y. X is negative 5, Y is negative 1. Okay. Add the opposite. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is just 4. Same thing with ZY. The absolute value of Z minus the absolute value of Y. Oh, I don't know why I just put that. There we go. Z is 2 minus negative 1. Minus minus is a positive. The absolute value of 3, which is just 3. Okay, now define the absolute value of ZW. Z-dub. Absolute value of Z minus absolute value of W. Z is 2. W is 6. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So which segments are congruent? Is segment ZY congruent to XY? No, they have different lengths. I want to see the two lengths that are, these lengths are equal, so these segments are congruent. So I would say XY is congruent to ZW. Notice I am saying the segment. I'm putting a line over it. These segments are congruent. Okay, so in geometry, a rule that is accepted without a proof, you'll learn about what proofs are in a couple months, is a postulate or an axiom. A rule that can be proved is called a theorem. Okay, so a prove means like I'm going to put down in stone, you can't prove it wrong. Okay, so segment addition postulate. It's pretty basic. If 3 points A, B, and C are collinear and B is between A and C, then AB plus BC equals AC. We're really looking at this. I know that was a lot. AB plus BC, the two inside segments, add up to the larger segment. To AC. Okay, so let's work on this one down here. So my theorem states AN plus NB would be equal to AB. This segment and this segment added together add up to the whole segment. What? Everybody clear on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, what is AN? Well, it's this equation. 2x minus 6 plus NB. Well, NB is x plus 7. What is AB? Well, it says right here, AB is equal to the length of 25. So right here we have to solve for x. So we're going to combine like terms, which means I have 2x and x is 3x. Negative 6 and a positive 7. It's just a positive 1. It's 25. What's the first step from here? Y both sides. Property of equality. So 3x equals 24. What's the inverse of multiplication? Division. So we divide by 3 on both sides. Yes, x is 8. Okay, so we're not done though. It's asking us to find AN and NB. So what do I do with 8 to find AN? Plug it in. So AN is equal to 2x minus 6. So I plug in 8 for x. 2 times 8 is 16 minus 6. 16 minus 6 is 10. So AN is equal to 10. Any thoughts to why I'm not writing the line over AN? Because it's a value. I am talking about the length of AN. I am not talking about the segment. We're talking about a length. When we start talking about a length, you don't write the line on the top. Okay, now the same thing for NB. The length of NB is equal to x plus 7. We're plugging 8 in for x. So the length of NB is equal to 15. Now, do these two lengths add up to my total length I was given before?
Yes.
10, yeah, 10 plus 15 equals 25. That's how I can check my work. I know I did this right. Can you turn the page? Okay, go ahead and watch the next video for the backside. I'm going to stop this thing.